Now, along with this setting, here's my fan theory that still holds up. And you may scoff at this, call it weak, unimaginative, but hear me out, because I'm going to hold on to this theory until the true story is told. Zero is Proto-Man. I know this sounds superficial, shallow, like calling Link Zelda, you may call me ignorant, and at one time I thought this as a kid, and then thought the informed adult opinion was that X and Zero were completely different characters. But eventually I came back to this. And just because we see a silhouette of an in-production Zero in the second Mega Man Power Fighters, doesn't mean he and Proto-Man were in existence at the same time. This could just be a shell. Let's just entertain the idea for a minute. The key element of Reploids is free will. When Proto-Man was born, he had free will, but a physical defect. Potential for power was there, but could not be fully realized. He didn't want Light to fix him because he was afraid it would change him, so he ran away. This physical defect was somewhat corrected by Dr. Wily, who found Proto-Man on the verge of death, but not completely corrected, as is indicated by his conversation with Light in Mega Man Power Fighters 2. And I know there's an idea out there that Wily won the rivalry with Light, and he was the first to create a Reploid. But I don't think Wily ever won. It was studying Proto-Man during repairs that taught Wily how to create robots of his own, rather than take over Light's robots as he did in the first game. And even after that, he used Dr. Cossack and the Robot Tournament to bend the creation of others to his purposes. But at some point, Dr. Wily caught on to unlocking the true power of robots, free will. He tried to create Base with free will, and you may think he succeeded because Base rebelled against Wily. But what did Wily create Base to do? Defeat Mega Man. And even though Base has no respect for his creator, what is his main goal? To defeat Mega Man, as his creator programmed him to do. So here's the picture that I painted. Wily can't quite get free will down, so he hatches a plan true to form. He will once again piggyback off of the genius of his rival. Mega Man would be in some dire situation. Maybe Base pulls out all the stops and crosses every line and actually gets Mega Man in a bind. And then Proto-Man now wants to step in and save his brother, but he needs to be stronger. Wily then capitalizes on Proto-Man's desire to save his brother and, either directly or underhandedly, convinces Proto-Man to undergo an upgrade so he can save him. In desperation, Proto-Man agrees, and Wily finally has his subject with free will. However, while upgrading Proto-Man, Wily also incorporates a device to control him, and renames him Zero as a nod to Proto-Man's DLN number. This paradox of attempting to control free will drives Proto-Man insane, as he is commanded by Wily to kill someone he cares about, either Dr. Light or Mega Man. So when the device activates to force him to follow Wily's order, he rebels and inadvertently mortally wounds Wily. Wily manages to deactivate Zero with a remote in his coat, and the last thing Zero sees before deactivating is Wily's blood on his hands. The dying Wily then seals Zero in a capsule, along with his secondary project, transferring his consciousness to a computer virus that would share the same capsule with Zero. Eventually, Dr. Light, who is already building X, finds the lab and sees Wily's body slumped over the capsule. Heartbreak turns to betrayal as Light looks at his son, the one who refused his help, modified by his rival and enemy. He attempts to save him, but Wily's encryption is impenetrable. He can access some things, but he cannot open the capsule without it killing his firstborn son. He attempts one last modification to Zero, an algorithm for studying and eradicating Wily's virus. He prays that one day it will result in an antibody that protects Zero. Now this goes against popular fan theories of Zero destroying Mega Man, if not the whole Mega Man family, but it would explain the response of Mr. Inafune, the co-creator of Mega Man, who said in response to such theories something to the effect of, Zero wouldn't do that, it goes against his character. But still, people use Zero's demeanor while fighting Sigma as a counterpoint to that, as we see a bloodthirsty, stone-cold killer. But do we really? Let's go back to my theory. Proto Man has fallen victim to Wily's trickery, and his original fear has come true. He is no longer Proto Man, no memories of his past. He wakes up in an abandoned lab, not knowing who he is or what to think. But subconsciously, the trauma of what Wily did to him is still there. The very first people he meets are armed maverick hunters who don't know if he's friend or foe. Additionally, Reploids are on par with humans in terms of emotions. The maverick hunters are probably not equipped to deal with mental trauma. So Zero has a mental breakdown right in front of them, and they take that as aggression, so a fight ensues. Now Zero is desperately looking for something familiar, something he can control, and in this dire mental situation there is one thing he does know how to do, and he knows how to do it well. Fight. And he fights better than any of the hunters, so the fight becomes his safe place. And by the time Sigma shows up, he is completely settled in that safe space. As he battles Sigma with an animalistic rage, Wily's consciousness sees this as an opportunity. This is the Zero he wanted, the stone-cold killer he can use to take over the world. So he attempts to control Zero again. Instantly, Zero feels the trauma of his past. He doesn't know what it is, but he knows he hates this feeling. Sigma capitalizes on this moment and destroys the blue crystal on Zero's helmet, inadvertently releasing Zero from Wily's mind control device. And the rest is history. Now think of the implications of this theory. Wily is painted as being who he always was, an underhanded, selfish scientist who exploits the genius of others to take over the world, dying as he lived, getting into a situation over his head. The betrayal Dr. Light feels would explain why he tells Zero, I can't modify you, and just forget about your past and look to the future in X5. This would actually make X and Zero brothers, not just brothers in arms. And after all is said and done in the Mega Man and Mega Man X story, the one who saw it all would be the one who started it all. I know you may feel like this is a stretch, but keep in mind this is just a theory from an ill-informed consumer, a theory planted and cultivated before the days of the internet as we know it today. I'm glad to just put it out there after 30 years of stewing over it. If you've got this far in the video, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for listening to An Old Gamer.